January 2nd, Wednesday, 2019. Day 5,202 since diagnosis of a very rare form of brain cancer called primary CNS lymphoma. This also happens to be the halfway point between the 8 week mark. So today's 4 weeks. Tomorrow I get checked at the Cleveland Clinic to see if the imbruvica that I've been taking for the last 4 weeks is working, killing the cancer cells in my brain and in my spinal fluid. If it is working, I'll continue another 4 weeks for a total of 8. And then I go to New York to meet with the stem cell transplant team and hopefully get the stem cell transplant done. We've been running into a little bit of confusion in regards to my use of cannabis and imbruvica. They're both they don't work well together. So tomorrow's going to be kind of an interesting day to see if I'm helping or hurting the imbruvica. It could either enhance it or I could be building up a toxicity level in my body that's not good for me. So I guess we're going to find out tomorrow. What I don't understand is we've asked them multiple times if they could run a test, and they keep saying that they're not interested in the levels of my imbruvica. Blows me away. On a couple more positive notes, due to relentless work on Liz's part, and I dug a little deeper because my brother said I wasn't digging deep enough, knowing all my friends. And the dispatcher that was working the day I had my seizure is no longer a dispatcher. Her name is Lucy. She's now kind of a bigwig with the dispatcher union, and I asked her if she knew anybody high up at the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund, and she got me in touch with this guy Dudley, who then in turn put me in contact with this Mary Beth. And Aon, the company that was taking over for United Healthcare, was telling all the bigwigs at OPNF that I was taken care of, which was not the case. So Liz drafted this email that was really, it was awesome. It really laid out just how shitty the situation is that I'm in. And then when I spoke with Dudley, Liz and I spoke with Dudley, he says, well, you fall in the category of special circumstances. So long story short, we were able to get my current healthcare situation, which is primary Medicare and secondary United, extended for another 6 months, which really, really saved mine and our ass, Liz and mine asses. We were looking to move to Pennsylvania or Florida. Nonetheless, that was huge. And then I spoke of a guy named Hesh that I called. I also called just today a guy that he used to work with. He was a Newburgh Heights cop. Left there and then was out in South Russell, which is a high-end city. And now he's no longer a cop. He's actually a teacher. He teaches at Tiffin about law enforcement. He also is in real estate, and he asked me today, which I was going to ask him because I reached out to him, if he would ever get together with me, Hesh, a couple other guys, and just kind of bounce some ideas off each other. And then he, in turn, asked me exactly that very same thing, if I would be interested in getting together maybe once a month. So I really see some, I'm really glad that they thought that I would be a good addition to this group of guys that are just unreal with their motivation and their drive. And they want me to be a part of that, which is pretty awesome. Uh, Overall, being on this imbruvica, I had some blood in my stool, and my urine was odd looking, like it was dark, as if I didn't have enough fluids. But it seemed to straighten itself out on its own. But they said that was a common side effect. Um, so that seems like it has ran its course. But Liz has told me that she recalls reading somewhere or hearing somewhere that the side effects of imbruvica don't kick in until week 4 or 5. On another good note, I was able to take the RSO Rick Simpson oil that I make up to Michigan and met 2 women that were fantastic, Lisa Satori and this other girl named Tisha. And Lisa was very instrumental in the legalization of marijuana in the state of Michigan. And I want to be very instrumental in the legalization of cannabis nation, in this whole world, nation, from sea to sea. And I had a meeting with a doctor named Dr. McElroy yesterday, a phone consult from Aunt Zelda's, and he's a doctor. Aunt Zelda's is this incredible company that Mara Gordon, which I just found out about, has a database of different cancers and a database of different cannabis concoctions that work best at killing a cancer. So this Dr. McElroy was supposed to tell me what I should get, and then I can go up to Michigan, and Lisa and this other girl Tisha can get me what I need. And he said, let's just wait till they see what the doctor says with your test results tomorrow. So after tomorrow, we'll see what's been going on with the imbruvica and see where the status of my cancer cells are in my brain or in my body. And then I'll call him back up, and then hopefully he can say, take A, B, and C, and then I can call up to my Michigan contacts and say, this is what I need, and hopefully somehow I can acquire that. And then my RSO should have the lab results back by next week to see if there's any toxins that were not purged off in the process of making it. And hopefully it's a good quality product. And I'm very disappointed that this whole time I was told the absolute most you could take, absorb, assimilate in the body orally, whether it's vaping, smoking, tinctures, oils, edibles, is a max of 25%. But if you went rectally with suppository, you get up to 70%, bypass the liver, there's no high. I just found out yesterday that that is total bullshit. That it's kind of a waste of my time. There's really not much absorption rectally. So that was disappointing, but I'm moving in the right direction, hopefully. Here's our Christmas tree we put up. Pretty badass. And then we're going down Friday, down to Columbus, 2 hours south of here, and we're going to go to the James Cancer Center and talk to their stem cell transplant team. We talked to the stem cell transplant team at the clinic, and that doctor was not very optimistic at all. And Liz and I spoke about it after that, and he's going off info that was 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And when I told him that Dr. Gromes at Memorial Sloan Kettering said I've got a 5-year, 80% chance I'm going to go cancer-free, symptom-free for 5 years, and he tells me no way at the Cleveland Clinic, That's at best discouraging. I don't know where his bedside manner was. Why would you tell a, a patient with who's beat the odds this long that if you do the stem cell transplant down here, I'll give you a year and it's coming back. This is not 5 years. I don't care what doctor says this. So that was disappointing. Um, but then again, he never does. He doesn't. He doesn't work with CNS lymphoma patients, so he doesn't have any clue. And I'm checking out all these groups on Facebook, and these people are losing their fingernails, their toenails, and they're talking about chemo brain coming back real bad. And I'm still having cognitive issues from my chemo brain, and I haven't had chemo in quite some time. I really don't even know. That's how good my brain is. I've been noticing some memory issues lately. It's been bothersome, frustrating. I don't know why, but I'd like to get back on this supplement that I was on called Wellness Brain. Psychosomatic or not, I think I was better with it. I used to be a pretty witty guy. Had a comeback for everything, and I'm slowing it. But I did meet the Brown boys down in Little Italy for dinner last week, and I Ubered down, and on the way back, we had a green light, and this truck came from the left side, which I'm blind in my left eye. And I was very happy that I saw another car running the red light behind him, and had I not saw it, we would have got T-boned. So I'm very glad that my peripheral caught that, because my peripheral is really poor. So that was another positive that I look back on and think really good stuff about. So after the appointment down at the clinic, we had to swing by to the yacht club and check on my jack stands on my boat. And those port side jack stands, that area over there is soft, and I got to keep checking it because it's kind of leaning a little bit. So I actually bought a third separate jack stand to just help support that port side so it doesn't fall over and domino effect and knock all those boats over, which would really suck. Got a great text from my old doc partner who is from like wrestling, Northeast Ohio wrestling royalty, John Matucci. And he had the Matucci Memorial Tournament out at East Lake North this past weekend. And I wasn't going to go because my immune system's getting weakened by this imbruvica. And he sent me a picture from the tournament with my 3 coaches saying they're thinking about me. I told Liz we got to go. So we drove out there, and the kids were all shocked to see me. So I pulled them out in the hallway and gave them a little, hopefully a motivational speech. I told them all that I was a fraction of the talent that they had in that room. And as cheesy as it sounds, being a 4-year varsity letterman, and I was not good, but made me who I am today, and made me what I believe a stronger individual to dig as deep as I could because of the discipline and the willingness to just dig as deep as you can. And that, as cheesy as it sounds, it was wrestling. And wrestling will get you through a lot. You lose your job, you lose your girlfriend, you lose a parent, a friend. Any hard situation, you just got to dig deeper. And they seemed pretty receptive to it. So I talked to a buddy of mine that grew up behind me. We coached together with police officers, not together, but in neighboring departments. Actually, he's a cop right here in the city I live in. And I asked them if the kids said anything, and they said, yeah, they're always talking about me. So that's really, really heartwarming, to say the least. Liz went back to Atlanta this past couple days and took care of some loose ends she had there, and it's great to have her back. I think I'm gonna go fully gluten free. Jim Brown's telling me his brain fog is gone, his muscle aches and sore muscles are gone, joints are better. It reduces your inflammation, so gluten free is the way to go, I think. And I'm really starting to move towards a heavily plant based diet. All the research states that that is the best for an anti cancer diet. And I see this Chris Wark, crispy cancer guys, and why can't I do that? I am going to do that. There's no doubt about it. I will do that. I'm not going to say it's easy during the holidays. You got Easter, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. The junk food is just relentless. It's everywhere you turn, everywhere you look. So, right now I'm choosing nature's candy. Berries, grapes, fruits, vegetables, and my filtered brookie water. Just saw a post that we have had less than a foot of snow in all of December. That's got to be a record of some sort. Been trying to get a hold of the law firm that dealt with Clyde, Ohio, and got them a settlement, or at least someone to look at this cancer cluster that I grew up in, which is Valley View, Murray Boswick Road. The City View Shopping Center in Garfield Heights is built on a abandoned toxic landfill. If you ever saw the movie Aaron Brockovich, that's basically where I grew up. Everybody has some kind of weird disease. And they had the EPA there, and they completely turn a blind eye to it. I had a lawyer come from Philadelphia and tell me these are the highest numbers he's ever seen. He goes back to Philadelphia and wouldn't return my phone calls or my emails. So I got upset and I stopped calling. And then that Scene Magazine article, which is a 4-page article, I'm the main guy in that 4 pages, getting interviewed, and it surfaced again on Facebook. So I got pissed off again. So I call another lawyer, and he tells me that the statute of limitations has ran out. Now, I'm not the brightest guy, but couldn't one make a case if they remotely thought outside the box that this is negligence and murder, mass murder? There's been so many deaths attributed to cancer on those 2 streets, 80 houses, and usually it's brain and liver cancer, and I've got brain and my mom had liver cancer. It's really just, it's Aaron Brockovich all over again. So we're trying to find a lawyer. How they can prove that is beyond me. And then, so the well that we had growing up, when they got rid of well water, you're supposed to fill that well with concrete and then put a lid on it. My dad did not do that. He got a huge flagpole and stuck that right in there. And he welded some cross brackets on it to keep it upright and keep it plumb. So that's actually that's accessible. If we can go talk to the people that bought the house, which my brother said they completely redid the house. I wouldn't even recognize it. Which, when we were selling that house, my brother was trying to tell people it needs a little TLC. And I was saying it needs a lot of TNT. Blow that place up. Uh, where was I going? Oh, and some guy made a video up there at City View, and I reached out to him. He's not gotten back to me. And then I reached out to another guy in Clyde, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet either. But that was just yesterday. So hopefully, I don't know what can happen with this, but my other buddy Dino Ewald, he has this late night podcast, and he wants to interview me. So he's got, I don't know, quite a few followers. I want to say hundreds of thousands, or maybe even 1.4 million, or something crazy like that. Uh, and hopefully, maybe my story can get out, and I don't know. But eventually, I would like to get my story out. So that's what this is for. And hopefully, I can think of more stories for you.